Okay, so I've not done a video in about a week or so, been a little bit. So I thought I would do something kind of quick, hopefully, maybe a little quick. Just kind of, give update on like what I've been up to. So I've been mostly trying to work on my webcomic because my goal is to have the first chapter out by the end of the month, or at least starting. I'm still not sure exactly how I want to like release it. It might be something I do incrementally versus like a lot of webcomics, the way they release is it's like you have maybe 3-4 pages released every few days. And so I'm trying to figure out if that's how I want to do it, or if I want to like release like maybe one chapter a month. So that I'm working on that kind of thing. But either way, my goal is to have it starting by the end of August. So working on that, getting some stuff in line. Just like a lot of weird like logistics of like, okay, so how do I want to organize and manage this project? Because I've been very much so in the brainstorming and like conceptualizing phase, and now I'm starting the actual production. So that's fun, and I'm a little maybe not worried, but I am at this point in the process realizing there were things I probably should have focused on more. Specifically, like right now, I've been working on trying to figure out characters. And not that I don't have characters, but I feel like I should have put more effort into fleshing them out before working on this part of the story, working on like actually producing stuff. So I'm working on that. I think the end of the month is still perfectly reasonable for like a release date. My goal specifically is to do it like the week before school starts back for me, which is 26th, I think, is when it starts. So that's still the goal. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm sticking with. It's like it's not set in stone, but that's the plan. So yeah, there's that. Right now I'm pulling my hair out trying to better flesh out characters. Because I feel like once I have them fleshed out better in my mind and just like kind of figure out more little details and little reasons and to like care about them, I think it's going to benefit the overall story I'm doing greatly. Because something I've been thinking about a lot lately is that like characters are kind of like the thing that matters a lot to me when I'm reading a story, and I think it matters to most people. Like I would assume that's kind of the deciding factor if someone appreciates a story, if someone gets into it. And so I'm trying to figure that out, work on those characters, and make them come together. So there's that I'm working on. I've also, just as like a side thing, for the sake of my own productivity, I'm trying to rethink how I use technology, which is probably one of the consistent themes of this channel so far, is me messing around with tech and trying to figure out ways to make it less soul-sucking for me, like as a creative, and continuing to do that. So, for example, you can't see this, but right now my entire computer screen is like grayscale, which is pretty neat. Because the idea is to make it less visually distracting. And so yeah, I've been turning devices on grayscale. I do have something cool here that I've set up on my iPad, which I primarily use as just like a drawing tablet at this point. I have used it a little bit as just like a portable computer because, like, I don't know, it's much easier to take this with me, like throw it in a bag, than it is to throw my whole laptop. But what I have been doing is I've deleted just about anything I don't need on here. Like I said, because I don't. It's a little redundant to have a bunch of stuff like Discord and whatnot on this thing. But yes, I have it set up. It's just like kind of a basic background. I might throw some artwork or something on there, but for now, just a basic background. But what's cool is once I enter Procreate, and I'll set up for other apps. I was just testing, so it only works for Procreate right now. But I've set it up to where once I enter Procreate, it's colored, and I don't know why I chose or why I clicked on that image. Um, but yeah, it's all colored and crap, and that's pretty neat. This is a character for my comic that I doodled. She's like one that'll show up later on in the story, and that's not the final design at all. I have ideas that I want to change the design pretty drastically, but anyway, there's a little something, a little well-wishing teaser, if you will. So yeah, anyway, that kind of thing I've been working on. I wish there was a way to do something like that on my laptop, but I've not figured that out perfectly yet, and I get kind of tired of researching things because I feel like it's defeating the purpose of doing this. Because the whole purpose of me putting stuff in grayscale is so I don't think about it as much, and it just feels much more like a tool than something trying to suck my attention away. Which I think isn't fully the device's fault. I mean, it's more so just like a way to help me shift the mindset I have when I use it. Because realistically, the only things that are taking up like time and attention on, say, my laptop is just like the idea of opening up like my web browser and clicking over to social media, whatever, or like getting like lost and that sort of thing. But if everything's in grayscale, there's nothing to really suck that attention away. There is the benefit that it does feel a lot more simplistic, and when it feels more simplistic, it feels much more like a tool than something to be entertainment. So there's that. I don't know. I'm still working on the optimization of the system, and who knows? Like, it's not terribly convenient. I can't really show this because I'm recording this on my computer, but there's some things where it's like the contrast on like text isn't great without color. Like, it's just hard to kind of read some things, but I'll figure that out. My main goal with doing this right now is to help me like get to the comic quicker and be productive with that, but also school starts back at the end of the month, and I would like to do that in a quick manner. Typically I'm pretty distractible when working on assignments, and since I'm wanting to release a webcomic while I'm doing school, like, I want to make sure I am being as maybe not productive as possible, but I want to make sure I'm eliminating all of the dumb, stupid crap like Reddit or whatever that takes my attention away. And yeah, we're seeing if this will help. I don't know. Like, I've dabbled with it before, but I never really stuck with keeping things grayscale. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a little double whammy, talk about those kind of things. One more thing, I will probably have a more in-depth take or like review, whatever. Not review, but like I'll have more thoughts on this once I'm further into this experiment. But I talked before about how I wanted like a designated music player, and I mentioned how I've tried using like an Apple Watch, which is what this is. Just there's no strap on it because of how I'm using it right now. But I've thought about using an Apple Watch as like a little music player, and I'm trying that again, and I think I'm liking it a bit more now. Dropped it. But yeah, I have this. I've turned off just about all notifications on it. And I just use the music app, which I have a grayscale. I don't really think this needs to be grayscale necessarily. It was more so just me figuring out if I could put a watch on grayscale, which I can. But yeah, and I just have my little, like, through Apple Music, I have like a music library, and it works all right. It's a little hard to navigate, but like, yeah, I think it's cool. And it's quite cute like this. It's a little watch. It's kind of cool. So yeah. And also it's podcasts. That's nice. So I'm trying to use it like that. I don't know if that'll help much. And then the idea is, my phone just totally becomes a communication device, which I do like it a lot more like that. It's funny. Who would have thought like a phone is best used as a communication device, i.e. a phone? But yeah, messing around with that too. I don't know how I feel about these little optimizations, but it's all kind of in the name of making sure I can lock in come September when I'm busy and I have stuff going on. And I also will be like hoping to release my comic and hoping to keep making YouTube videos. I started like my backup, maybe not backup, my like background goal is like I would kind of like to release like a fully scripted YouTube video on one of my other channels by the end of the year. The only issue is I don't really know what that would be on. I've been messing around with stuff in the background, and I'm not too happy with it, but we'll see. All that said, all that hinges on me locking the crap in, and I think I'm working towards that. So that's the end of this video. I'll be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'd like to start doing these daily again, but who knows? All right, see you later. Bye.